So today I had some reports of networking problems after going to BIOS level 1.1b. So I've got an ESXi install. It was on USB, and I went ahead and booted it today for the first time since going to BIOS level 1.1b yesterday. And the first thing I noticed was I couldn't log into the console. So I'm in IKVM. I'm in an out-of-band management way to get to the local console, but I can't even ping the interface on the network. Now I do have a 10 gig switch hooked up for the first time ever. Hooked up to my LAN, and it should get DHCP. So let's see what's going on here. I'm going to hit F2, and I'm recording video basically just in case something interesting happens in my troubleshooting process here. So configure management network. Whoa. Okay, VMNIC 0 is on the 10 gig. So right away that could be giving people some fits. It looks like it's enumerating NICs differently in this last BIOS level. So I go to details and I see it's moved over there to the 10 gig world. Okay. Now, if I hit D for details, it just gives me the MAC address. Everybody's connected. We knew that. How about D for details on one of these 557s? Now, it's interesting is I thought it was X552 I saw somewhere in the spec, or X552/557 is what you see everywhere. Anyhow, that's the name of the driver, X557, and I believe it's 441 that's installed using one of my articles, all right, to do that. So now I've moved it. How about I escape and say no? What I should have been doing is test management network and show you that failing first. And it's failing miserably. It can't even ping the gateway. And this is ESXi 6.0 update 2. And you can see the build on the bottom here under my mouse, 3620759. All right, let me go back in, and this time I'll actually change VM, the network adapter for host management, and hit escape and say yes this time. Okay, we got the same IP address. Well, this is getting weirder because it's a DHCP reservation, but what do you know, in my other window, out of the corner eye, I saw this immediately. So it's like it inherited the DHCP setting, or it went with the same IP that it last had, but not sure what to say. Oh, okay, because it's static. Right there is the word static. All right, so that's actually good for people because that's usually what you would have on an ESXi host. So yes, we've resolved, or we've clarified that they've changed the way network interfaces are enumerated in ESXi, but we haven't resolved why 10 gig is not working properly for people. Okay, network's fine and happy. So we're back, and that also means I should be able to go ahead and log in here and log in with the host client as well, HTML5 web interface. So we're back in action. Not sure why auto login didn't just work there from LastPass, but anyhow, we're back. I don't really need the console anymore. Interesting that the certificate warning came up because I've certainly been connected to this before. So this just keeps getting more interesting. That could just be an artifact of when you move VM NICs from one to another. Not really sure why, but that just happened. All right. So this is the danger of doing something live and not thinking through what I'm talking about. And it's also at the end of a very long day. I just got home. So sorry for people that didn't get comments from me replying quickly enough, but at least I've replicated part of the problem in my home lab. Now I need to build the second ESXi host, put it on the 10 gig switch, so that I can then try some networking, vMotion or whatever, or just put some VMs on it and ping each other. So we're back, got ESXi back up. I'm happy about that. And like I said, I've got some work to do to figure out what's really going on with networking. And there's my network adapters, and you can see 1000 full. This is the first time I've ever done it with a switch, which is awesome. I do see that the uplink to DHCP network is not working. The 10 gig interfaces are making up their own 169. Well, vSwitch 1, never mind. So it looks like I made a separate switch for vMotion. So scratch what I just said. It was expected to be a private network. All right, well, that's a wrap for today. Closing thoughts will be, yeah, I got more work to do, like I said. Trying to make sure I can see what other people are seeing, that 10 gig might be having issues since the new driver. Oh, yes, you might want to see what driver I'm using. So there's my NVMe driver, for instance, for my M.2 drive that I temporarily have up. What I'm really looking for here is the driver for 10 gig, and there's your answer, 441. And I have an article all about that right over here. I basically made it incredibly easy. If you want to just type this command for the firewall rule and then this command for getting it done and pulling down the VIB. It's a text file. You can also do it kind of the legitimate way that's a little more involved, and that involves logging into your VMware account, downloading the VIB, and then installing it, downloading a zip file, and then extracting that, and then pushing it to your data store, and then running the same kind of script to run it off local storage instead. So 2 approaches, whatever you prefer. Hopefully you found this video helpful. There'll be more to come about 10 gig testing with my switch. And there has been a report of an issue on the Cisco switch. So I should probably show you that I'm using a Netgear switch. We'll have to see if it's exhibiting the same problem. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can grab the conversation and give you a peek at what I'm talking about here and show you that article right here. So here's the conversation. One person talking about X552, which we saw is actually an X557 driver, and, having trouble since upgrading the BIOS. And this is an interesting article because it talks about people with troubles on X557, Xeon D, and some Cisco switches. So again, way too early to know what's really going on here, but thank you for watching and for visiting tinkerdry.com.